Hi, welcome to Chris Cook for YouTube. Today I'm going to be making an omelet. So let's get started with the ingredients that you're going to need to make it. Now, you can make an omelet out of anything that you want. You can raid your refrigerator and whatever you have in there, you can throw it in an omelet and go ahead and make it. But I'm doing a vegetable omelet this morning. So let's get started. Here you're going to need the eggs to go in the omelet, and this is going to be a yolk omelet. Whenever you're doing yolk omelets, you're going to need a little bit of water. So I have the water sitting here because the water will make the yolks fluffier. You're going to need any type of cheese that you want to use. I'm using a Mexican blend of cheese, but you can use any type of cheese that you would like. You're going to need some vegetables. Now, I have some onions that I've stripped because I like to taste my onions. So I've stripped these onions and sliced them. I have onions, green pepper, red pepper, and salt and pepper to taste. Now, you can add some mushrooms to this. You can add meats to this. You can do anything that you like. But this is the way that we're making it today. So what I'm going to do is to meet you at the stove. Now, I'm at the stove and I'm going to start to cook this. So what I'm going to do is to saute up my vegetables just a little bit, just to get them limp. I don't want to cook them where they are translucent. But I do want to have a crunch left in my vegetables. The only thing that I want to do is to make certain that they are not totally raw. So I'm going to start them to cooking back on the back burner. And what I did was I have a little bit of olive oil in here and a small pad of butter. So in this skillet, which is the one that I'm going to make the omelet in, I have my eggs here. I added one more because I'm going to make 2 omelets. So I have my eggs, added a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, and I'm going to add some water, about 2 tablespoons full of water. And I'm going to mix that. Okay, now once I've gotten that mixed, then I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my skillet. Just enough for 1 omelet. Like I said, I'm going to make 2. Okay, now I'm going to allow that to just heat up around the edges until I'm trying to stir. Because I told you I had my vegetables on the other side, so I'm stirring them a little bit so that they won't stick. Now, on this side, you can see that the omelet around the edges is beginning to form. So what I'm going to do is take it a little bit wider, and I'm going to pull some of this in. Okay? Now, I'm pulling it in because this part is already done. So now I want to cook some more of this that was just sitting in the center of the pan. So you just pull it in just a little bit. Okay? Now if you're doing vegetables like I am, then you keep your eye on your vegetables and don't let them burn. And the only thing I want to do is to just soften them up a bit. Which is exactly what I'm doing. Okay, now getting back to the omelet, pull it in just a little bit more. Okay, now that's starting to add up a fluffiness, but as you can see, the outsides is beginning to form, and then the inside of it, this part, that's not going to be a problem because it's going to cook as it continues to stay on the heat. Now once that has formed enough, then you can start to add whatever mixes it is that you're going to put over into your omelet. In other words, if you have bacon or cheese or whatever it is that you want to use, then you can go ahead and put that into your omelet. So I'm going to put a little bit of my cheese, and see, this is set enough. Okay, and you want to use a non-stick skillet because the non-stick skillet, see, it'll slide all around and it's released on all sides. Okay, you can run your spatula around it if you like. So now I'm going to go ahead and put my cheese on one side of my omelet. And like I said, you can use any cheese that you like. It really doesn't matter which cheese you use. Now, in addition to putting my cheese on one side of the omelet, I'm going to go ahead and layer some vegetables on one side of the omelet as well. Now I have green peppers, onions, and red peppers. And like I said, I love onions, so, but you can use any type that you want. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, and I'll save that for my second omelet. Now I want to cut off the back of my stove. Now once you have that on, then the only thing else that you're going to do, because you can see that this is loose. Okay, not a problem with it being loose. And you can see that my eggs are almost cooked on the inside of this omelet. It's not where it's real runny. So then you're going to take and you're going to flip this part over on top of your vegetables. Before I do that, I think I'm going to add just a little bit more cheese. Now you don't have to do that. Since I am eating it, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more cheese. Okay, so now I'm going to take this part of the omelet. Make certain that you get a secure grip on it, okay? Then I'm going to take it over and layer it. See how good that came out? Then I'm going to allow it to continue to cook for just a little bit. That omelet is perfect in shape. It's perfect in color. If you want it a little bit darker, you can get it a little bit darker. But now the cheese is going to melt because I flipped the other side over on it. And everything up underneath it that was already warm, my sauteed vegetables and my cheese from the bottom, as well as the eggs from the bottom, all of that is going to warm that inside of this omelet. Now, the only thing left to do is to take it out. You can take it out one or two ways. Normally, I slide it off on the plate. That's the way I take it out. Omelets take very little time to cook. Very easy. Don't have to worry about it. If you want to throw some more cheese on top of it now, you can. Or you don't have to. Now, you can take this out with a spatula. Or I could have slid it out. There you have it. Omelet to perfection. And that's the way you make a yolk-filled omelet. Okay, now I'm at the table and I'm getting ready to enjoy my omelet. And I decided what's a better way to enjoy it than with a cup of coffee. So I'm going to use my Cardinal French press coffee maker, and I'm going to make a cup of coffee right here at the table. Now, for this, for every cup of coffee that you're going to be making, you're going to need a scoop of coarse granules. Now, you will need coarse granules. Don't use the fine ones because that will not work. So here it is. We have 2 scoops of the coffee. And to that, we're going to add some hot water to that, okay? I'm going to add my hot water. And not boiling water, just hot water. Just make sure that it's hot. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the top on it. And I'm going to allow it to sit here for 3 to 4 minutes while I go ahead and cut open my omelet and show it to you, okay? Now, I did go ahead and put some more cheese on top of my omelet because I really do like cheese. So I'm going to cut into it right here and just show you. Look at that omelet. That's a real nice omelet. I have my vegetables inside, which is my red peppers and my green peppers along with my sauteed onions. And then I have cheese inside, and I put a layer of cheese on the top. And this is a egg yolk omelet. Nothing can be better to start your morning than a egg yolk omelet, and of course a cup of good coffee. And that's what I get every time I use my French press. Again, I tell you, this is by Cardinal and it is sold on Amazon, but I get a good cup of coffee every time I use it. And I think that you would really enjoy using this particular item. And you'll know our brand because it has the little coffee pot with the little smoke coming up out of it. So if you look at the others, none can really compare to this particular product. And I hope that you would give it a try. Now I'm going to go ahead and press down my container, and I'm going to press it down slowly. This is a very good cup of coffee. You will really truly enjoy it. And it is very inexpensive. So I think that you'll be very pleased with the price as well as the product. Now once I have pressed that all down, then I'm going to go ahead and pour myself a cup of coffee. I do have my creamer and my sugar already in here. Now, you can stir if you like. I'm going to go ahead and drink a little bit. My, that really hits the spot. So to have this coffee to go with my omelet, this is the perfect start to my day. And as always, thank you for watching Chris Cook for You Too. Bye.